A love triangle begins and there's enough fan service to fill the Grand Canyon. In my review of Soul Eater Not, Episode 4. You know, I could spend this whole review just crucifying this episode for all of its cliche elements and all of the stuff that I didn't care for, but that would be too easy. Because anybody can go online, turn on their webcam, and start bitching at people online and start up a shitstorm. But this week's episode of Soul Eater Not, and I'm not going to go ahead and sugarcoat it, it wasn't very good. It sucked. It was definitely the worst episode of the series. But there were some redeeming qualities to it. Very few, though they may be. So instead of talking about all of the negative bullshit this week, let's talk about the stuff that's actually pretty cool. So this week's episode was about Tsugumi and having to deal with the pressure she's under to become better at becoming a weapon, because Mei and Anya are becoming badasses. They're always training. Mei may be a moron, but she's still managing to do her yoga classes and kick ass at the shot put and the track and field events at the end, and Anya is a freaking badass martial arts master, and Tsugumi is just this sort of uninteresting girl, and she doesn't really know what she's doing. She doesn't know if she wants to become a weapon, if she wants to just learn how to control her powers, and now she has another wrench thrown into her plans, and that might actually be love. I'm not really a big fan of all that love crap. I've never really enjoyed those series too much. I can't think of too many that I've really enjoyed at all. But what I will say is the scene when she's hanging out with Akane this week was interesting, because Akane is talking a little bit more about the DWMA and the reasons that people go to it. One, a lot of the times they just want to make money, and a lot of the times it's to have a little bit of status, because people who go to the DWMA and graduate from there are sort of seen as like the world police. When I heard this, I instantly thought of Team America, so that definitely gave me a chuckle. But what's really cool here is Tsugumi is sort of having to come to terms with what she's going to do. But Akane has bigger plans here. In fact, he even reveals a little bit about himself. He removes that one part of hair from his face, and you get to see that he actually has a star mark on his eye, and that's because he's either related to or trained with the Star Clan. That's actually the same group that Black Star is affiliated with, and that's pretty damn interesting. This is just a nice clue and hint to show us that Akane is definitely something of a badass, and that's definitely been implied because both him and Clay are on this little secret mission to figure out what these whole traitor guys are up to and who they're affiliated with. Most certainly is the third Gorgon sister, which they don't want to include this week. But if you're into fan service, you might actually like that stuff this week too. Your mileage will vary. It's not really my cup of tea, especially when it's underage girls, but it's all over this week's episode. Whether it's Mei sleeping completely naked right next to Tsugumi, or it's all the girls in their incredible short shorts. All I know is this is probably the worst episode of Soul Eater by far. I'm encompassing it of the entire Soul Eater series, not just Soul Eater Not. This is an episode that I would certainly say skip it, but at the same time, I still say watch it, because this is going to be maybe a turning point for the character of Tsugumi. This is I'm guessing, the episode when she realizes, okay, no more shitting around, it's time to get serious, I gotta decide what I'm going to do here, otherwise I'm just gonna get left in the dust. Besides, I need to develop an interesting character. And I'm not sure how that's going to evolve from here. I just hope it picks up a little bit more soon, and the preview of the next week's episode doesn't really give me too much hope. But if you are a fan of the original Soul Eater anime, watch this episode. But don't expect too much. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something I'm not getting about this week's episode that should be blowing me away. If you think there is, let me know with your comments below, because maybe I just don't get it. What I will say is this week's episode is okay, and I think I'm being very nice when I say that. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 5 out of 10. Just not my favorite episode of Soul Eater. It's definitely the worst episode of the series, by far, no comparison. But still, like I said, if you're following the series, you want to kill a little bit of time, maybe get a few chuckles, check out this week's episode. It's okay. Yeah. Bye-bye. So if you guys actually watched this week's episode of Soul Eater Not, did you love it? Did you hate it? If it actually was a good episode to you, please explain to me why. What am I missing here? Remember guys, before you leave, make sure and give this video a like, a thumbs up. It really helps the videos out a lot. And you can check us out on the Facebook, on the Twitter. I'll put links to those in the description box below. So, I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.